Hey, Legion, how y'all doing today? Today I'm reviewing two obscure comedies. And my friend Christopher Sposa, subscriber, he's been sending me links to a bunch of some movies I heard of before, some I have not. And the latest two he sent me were a movie called Pros and Cons with Tommy Davidson. Actually, usually these movies that he sent me from the 80s and also maybe 1990 that's cutoff point. This one's from 99, so it's a newer movie. They had Tommy Davidson and Larry Miller in it, and then the other one he sent me for a movie called Ninja Academy. It made in '89. And I'll get to that second. So first of all, Pros and Cons is it starts off New Line Cinema, and it says going to jail, baby, going to jail. So you know it's a prison comedy. If you didn't know that before, it starts off at a brokerage firm. And there's this guy who's very klutzy, played by Larry Miller, and the evil son of the dad, Darren McGowan. Apparently, sadly, that was his final film. He was only in the first 10 minutes or so of the movie. His son, played by David Roush, who played Sledgehammer, and then he was in that Masters of Menace, which he sent me a while back about the motorcycle gang starting that. And plays the bad guy's son that's going to be really corrupt and stuff. And Larry Miller, you show Larry Miller is this one accountant guy, and he knows every penny that the company has. And he's a very klutzy guy, and I think that they did something like insider trading where David Roush said to say, and then Larry Miller spotted the error right away. I told him about that, and his wife said, "This guy needs to go away like permanently." And they end up framing him, and that it takes it seems like it takes a long time for that to get going. And then there's a side story, Tommy Davidson. I haven't seen Tommy Davidson in a long time. I remember seeing him live in Color. I remember seeing the movie Booty Call, him and Jamie Foxx on Cinemax a long time ago. I wonder if he was upset that Jamie Foxx's career really skyrocketed. His is doing okay, and basically he drops his girlfriend out of the bank, and there's these bank robbers, something like that, and they were going to have a speeding ticket, and they went to the other car that he's driving and said, "Go, go, go, go," so that he gets busted for that. He wasn't part of it. It's a very strange movie. It's very uneven how they do it. And finally, eventually, they both are going to jail together. And this tries to be like Stir Crazy, but there's only one Stir Crazy. Stir Crazy is probably the best prison comedy ever with, of course, Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor from '82, if I'm not mistaken. I love Stir Crazy. I think a lot of prison comedies try to be like Stir Crazy. I mean, it came after the fact. I think this one does too with the team up of those two. And it's just weird. And then Larry Miller is a complete klutz. He trips. Oh man! And he punches the guy. So and then he is perceived as a really tough guy, and he becomes pretty much the king of not the king, but very respected in the prison. They want to see this other guy named Delroy Lindo, played by Delroy, the big head honcho, and through his own klutziness, he saved his life. Like I said, a very bizarre movie. The way it twists and turns, it's like it exists in another universe. As a comedy, it's a little funny, not that much funny. But I mean, seeing the direction it took, and then that one, the way it ends up, it's interesting. It kept my interest, and Delroy Lindo was very good in it. There's also a special guest appearance from Jerry Seinfeld and Paul Reiser in one scene. And I assume that Larry Miller wrote this, because I'm a big Larry Miller fan. I remember seeing him, I think the first time I saw him on Tonight Show, I was in the Army, and he did the 5 stages of drinking or something like that. Brilliant comedy piece that was on there. And he had writing in the movie. I think that, because he's a stand-up comic, and so is, I'm not a Paul Reiser fan, I never have been, so is Paul Reiser and Jerry. They probably did as a favor to him being a small scene in the movie. The movie is very strange and bizarre. But it kept my interest enough to give it a 5.5 out of 10. And the second movie is Ninja Academy. Now, Ninja Academy, like I said, the glory days of the going to the video rental place and seeing all these obscure movies from different movie companies. These are real like budgeted movies. This from Omega Releasing. They might have spent, I don't want to say $1 million, maybe $500,000, but maybe $1 million. You never know on this movie. And they had a bunch of strange. I mean, I probably saw this at the video rental store and they didn't get it. I mean, in the 80s, the ninja craze took off. Everyone was doing ninja stuff. And there was even a TV show with Lee Van Cleef called The Master. Was a big fan of that show. And they had like the three big. It was sequels. I think Cannon did those: Enter the Ninja, Revenge of the Ninja, and also Ninja 3. The Dominance, which had was like a ghost story too, or what was that? Ninja 3. What was it? Hold on, let me look it up. No, Ninja 3. I can't remember the name. Ninja 3 something. And there was other ninja ones too, but those were the main ones. Ninja 3. Okay. Ninja 3 Domination 1984. Okay. And there was other ones too, and lots of knockoffs and stuff. And Ninja Academy came out. And it said, I think a tagline said it's like Police Academy but with ninjas. And it starts off with this two rival, and they're trying to get this guy's golden nunchucks. And they have a fight scene, and there's a big mistake right there. They had the fight scene, and there were the beginning credits over the fight scene, so a lot of the stuff was kind of ruined by the beginning credits, because it kind of blocked out some of the fighting and stuff like that. I mean, you shouldn't have a fight scene with opening credits over it, you know what I mean? And those guys became bitter rivals. And then one guy opened up a ninja school, and then the other guy, the Japanese guy, opened up the smaller scale ninja school. And you see a bunch of misfits. This one rich guy, his dad says, well, I don't want to give you any more allowance. I want you to try and do something. Go to this place for a week. You know, learn some discipline and stuff like this. And maybe I'll give you some allowance. Like, he'll do that for like $5,000 or something like that. There's a mime in it. A double secret agent, like James Bond, his name was 00711. It was so stupid. There's all the people. The guy who talks like Dirty Harry, he's supposed to be a tough guy in there. Another really klutzy guy. As far as comedy goes, I thought it was going to be clean at first. Because the way they were doing it, they didn't want any cursing. Just like whenever Pros and Cons started, it wasn't swearing, and then they started having a bunch of swearing, and so I knew it was R-rated. This one, to start off, I thought maybe PG-13. All of a sudden, they had F-word. I was like, okay, it's R-rated. And as far as comparing to Police Academy, most people think of Police Academy like family-friendly movies. Because with the third one on, it was PG, and they're all PG, and then there was a cartoon series in the late 80s, early 90s, and then there was after Mission to Moscow, there was a TV show I remember seeing on CW. It was an hour long. I watched some of it. It was only okay. Paul Flaherty was in it. It was okay. I didn't watch a lot of it. I watched some of it. It was just kind of grew tired. And that was the last I heard anything Police Academy stuff. And most people don't realize that the first Police Academy was R-rated. A mild R rating. I think it said F-word one. And then they had a little teeny tiny bit of nudity in it. You had to be on your toes. You see a little bit of nudity in it. The one thing this movie did better was the nudity. Because for whatever reason, guys were, the Ninja Academy these guys go to, these misfits go to, is that run by that, the one Japanese guy. It's like in the middle of the woods and like very barren barracks that co-ed this one room with a couple of cots. And he's walking along, all of a sudden he sees nudist colony. And there was decent nudity in that. So that's one thing it did better than Police Academy. As far as jokes, it wasn't really that funny, except for there was one scene up at the campfire that was hilarious. I laughed. That's about a minute. It was so stupid and funny. I just laughed. It's so stupid. I really laughed at that one. I think if my dad was here, he would laugh at it. It was so stupid but funny. Aside from that, I mean, it was okay. It was watchable. Uh, that one scene was, and then there was like a turn with Dirty Harry character. Always talks like to make my day. Talk deep voice and stuff. And then it was different. I give this a 5.5 out of 10 as well. It's still okay. I mean, it brings back memories of the 80s, and some of these movies, there's so much of an influx of movies. Just like if you go to live streaming service, you see like, I love horror movies. There's so many horror movies you go through. It's like, I don't know if this would be good, and you just end up flipping through them instead of watching a lot of them. That's kind of the way if you went to like, unless something really captured your eye, and that's kind of the way it was in the 80s and 90s at the mom and pop video stores, especially when I was in the army. This is probably one I probably saw, but I didn't get it. But I mean, it's an alright movie. They're both on YouTube, and they're okay movies. I mean, they weren't anything like Zoo Radio, which was awful. But I never heard of Zoo Radio. I'm glad I found out about the movie, though. So I want to thank my friend Christopher Sposa for letting me know about these two movies. Until next time, bye, please. Take care, my legion. Yeah, game.